A single dad rents a room to a crying homeless girl, not knowing she's a millionaire CEO's daughter. The rain hammered the cracked sidewalk like it wanted to punish the city itself. Under the flickering orange glow of a street lamp, a young woman sat on a soaked cardboard box, knees pulled to her chest, face buried in her arms. Her designer coat, once pristine white cashmere, was now streaked with mud, and her expensive leather boots were ruined beyond repair. She was sobbing so hard her whole body shook. Across the street, Mark Thompson watched from the window of his small, rundown house. He was holding a mug of coffee that had gone cold an hour ago. His 8-year-old daughter, Lily, was already asleep upstairs. The "for rent" sign had been in the front yard for 3 weeks, and not a single call had come. Bills were piling up. The fridge was nearly empty. And Christmas was tomorrow. Mark sighed, pulled on his old jacket, and stepped out into the storm. "Miss," he called gently as he crossed the street. "Are you okay?" The girl lifted her head. Even through the tears and rain, Mark could see she was young, maybe 21, with striking green eyes and long dark hair plastered to her face. She looked completely out of place on this forgotten corner of the city. "I'm fine," she lied, voice cracking. "You're going to catch pneumonia out here," Mark said. "Look, I've got a spare room. It's not much, but it's dry. Warm. You can stay the night. No charge." She stared at him like he'd spoken a foreign language. "Why would you do that? You don't even know me." Mark shrugged, rain dripping from his hair. "Because my daughter is upstairs dreaming of Santa, and I'd like to believe the world is still kind enough that someone would do the same for her if she were ever lost." The girl hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Okay. Just for tonight." Mark helped her to her feet and led her across the street. Inside the small house, the warmth hit her like a wave. It smelled of pine from the tiny, lopsided Christmas tree in the corner and cinnamon from the cookies Lily had baked earlier. The furniture was worn, the paint peeling, but everything was clean and lived in. "I'm Mark," he said, handing her a towel. "My daughter Lily is asleep. Bathroom's down the hall if you want to dry off. I'll find you some dry clothes." "I'm Emma," she whispered. "Thank you." While Emma showered, Mark rummaged through his late wife's old things, clothes he hadn't had the heart to give away. He found soft sweatpants and an oversized sweater. When Emma emerged, hair damp and face scrubbed clean, she looked even younger. Vulnerable. Mark showed her to the spare room, a tiny space with a single bed, a dresser, and a window overlooking the backyard. "It's not fancy," he apologized. "It's perfect," Emma said quietly. And for the first time that night, she almost smiled. That night, Mark lay awake listening to the rain ease into silence. He didn't know it yet, but the stranger in his spare room was Emma Harrington, only daughter of billionaire CEO Richard Harrington, founder of Harrington Global Industries. The girl the tabloids called the heiress. The girl whose face had been on every news channel for the past 48 hours, listed as missing after a public argument with her father. Emma had run away. And fate had led her here. The next morning, Christmas morning, Lily woke at dawn and bounded down the stairs. "Daddy!" Santa came, she squealed, then froze when she saw Emma sitting at the kitchen table, sipping coffee. Mark quickly introduced them. "Lily, this is Emma. She's staying with us for a little while. Emma, this is my daughter, Lily." Lily's eyes went wide. "Hi. Do you like pancakes? Daddy makes the best pancakes." Emma, who hadn't smiled genuinely in weeks, felt something crack open inside her chest at the sight of the little girl in reindeer pajamas. "I love pancakes," she said softly. They spent the morning together, opening the few presents under the tree, most of them for Lily, eating pancakes shaped like stars, and listening to Christmas music on Mark's old radio. Emma watched Mark and Lily interact, the way he listened to every word she said, the way he teased her gently, the way he made her feel like the center of the universe, and something deep inside her ached. She hadn't felt that kind of love in years. Days turned into weeks. Emma intended to leave after one night, then two, then a week. But every time she thought about going back to her old life, something stopped her. Mark never asked questions. He simply treated her like a person, not a headline. He worked double shifts at the auto shop to keep the lights on, came home exhausted, still found energy to help Lily with homework and cook dinner. Emma started helping around the house, cleaning, cooking, reading stories to Lily at bedtime. One evening, Lily crawled into Emma's lap while Mark was washing dishes. "Emma?" Lily asked. "Why were you sad when you came here?" Emma's throat tightened. I was lost. I didn't know where I belonged." Lily nodded solemnly. "Daddy says home isn't a place. It's where people love you even when you're messy or sad or loud." Emma had to look away so Lily wouldn't see the tears. Slowly, Emma opened up. Not all at once, but in quiet moments. She told Mark about growing up in a mansion with everything money could buy, except time with her father. How he missed every birthday after her mom died. How he tried to buy her forgiveness with cars and credit cards. How their last fight had been explosive. She'd accused him of never seeing her as a person, only an asset. She'd stormed out with nothing but the clothes on her back and her phone, which she'd turned off the moment she left. Mark listened without judgment. "You're not nothing without his money, Emma," he said one night as they sat on the back porch. "You're kind. You're smart. You make Lily laugh harder than anyone. That's worth more than any empire." Emma looked at him, really looked. At the tired lines around his eyes, the calluses on his hands, the quiet strength that held this little family together after losing his wife to cancer 3 years ago. And for the first time in her life, she felt seen. But secrets have a way of surfacing. One afternoon, Lily came home from school waving a newspaper. "Look. Emma's on the front page." Mark's heart stopped. The headline screamed, "Missing Heiress, $500,000 reward." Emma went pale. That night, after Lily was asleep, Emma packed her small bag. "I have to go," she told Mark, voice shaking. "They'll come here. I don't want to bring trouble to you and Lily." Mark caught her hand. "You're not trouble, Emma. You're family now." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I don't deserve this. I lied to you." "You didn't lie. You just weren't ready to tell the whole truth. And that's okay." But the next morning, a black SUV pulled up outside. Richard Harrington stepped out, tall, imposing, face etched with worry he rarely showed the world. Emma met him on the porch. "Dad." "Emma." His voice broke. "I've been out of my mind. Please come home." She looked back at the house, at Mark holding Lily's hand in the doorway. "This is my home now," she said quietly. Richard followed her gaze. Saw the modest house, the peeling paint, the man and little girl watching protectively. He understood. Over coffee in the cramped kitchen, Richard listened as Emma spoke, not with anger this time, but with clarity. She told him what she needed, not money, not control, but a father. A real one. Richard looked at Mark. "You kept my daughter safe when I couldn't. I owe you everything." Mark shook his head. "I didn't do it for payment. I did it because it was right." Richard studied him for a long moment. "The world needs more men like you." In the weeks that followed, things changed, but not in the way fairy tales usually go. Richard didn't buy Mark a mansion. He didn't throw money at the problem. Instead, he showed up. He came to Lily's school play. Brought groceries when Mark was short. Sat awkwardly on the couch learning how to play board games. Asked Emma to come back to the company, not as a figurehead, but as a real leader, with freedom to make it better, Kinder. And slowly, painfully, father and daughter began to heal. Emma stayed in the little house. She enrolled in online classes, started working part-time at a local nonprofit. She and Mark grew closer, quiet conversations turning into lingering touches, shared glances across the dinner table, until one spring evening under the blooming cherry tree in the backyard, Mark kissed her softly. Lily, who had been watching from the window, cheered loudly enough to scare the birds. Years later, at their wedding, small, in the backyard with fairy lights and Lily as flower girl, Richard gave a toast. "I spent my life building an empire," he said, voice thick. "But I almost lost the only thing that mattered. This man," he gestured to Mark, "he didn't have much. But he had everything. He taught me that real wealth isn't in bank accounts. It's in open doors on rainy nights. In pancakes on Christmas morning. In choosing kindness when no one's watching." He raised his glass. To second chances. To family, not the one you're born into, but the one you choose. Emma, radiant in a simple white dress, looked at Mark holding Lily on his hip, and felt her heart finally, truly, full. Sometimes, the richest people in the world are the ones who have nothing left to lose, and everything to give. And sometimes, home isn't where you started. It's where a stranger opens the door on a stormy night and says, "Come in. You're safe here." If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness still matters in this crazy world, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite part, and subscribe for more stories that make you believe in good again. Turn on notifications so you never miss one. Thank you for being here. You're the reason I tell these stories. See you in the next one. Red Heart.